What's up, guys? Welcome to Touchdown Talk, where everything and anything football goes. I'm your host, Jason, and we're going to be going through our Week 3 preview for our upcoming games for this Sunday. Yes, this video is coming out Saturday. We had a bit of a delay on Friday, a bit of a disruption throughout the process, so this video is coming out on Saturday, a little bit of a delay, but still enough time for you to be able to watch it and get my opinion before the games. If you are watching this after the games, well, you'll be able to see how close I was for my preview to what the games actually were. My recap will also be coming out on Monday as well. So let's get started with first talking about our Thursday night game between the Steelers and the Browns. Great game overall between these divisional rivals. Now the score is going to say a little bit different, but on the last play when the Pittsburgh Steelers were just tossing the ball around trying to get something going on a miracle play, it went backwards into the end zone, which cost the Steelers an extra 6 points. So in reality, the score lies to you a little bit on that aspect, but the game itself was pretty good. As I predicted, Nick Chubb and Najee Harris were key for their team. Now, Najee Harris was able to not only play but also get rest with Jaylen Warren coming in at a few times. He's a rookie for the team, giving Najee a bit of a rest. That helped him out. Mitch Trubisky looked to take more shots, so it looked like Matt Canada is listening to the Steeler fans and the NFL fans who are watching the Steelers, saying coming for his job. The Steeler fans want him fired, but maybe a little bit of an upside turnaround from Canada after hearing all of what fans were saying, if he even heard what people were saying. But how could you not when everyone was talking about your offense? Shots were taken for the Steelers. That is a sign of good news. Their rookie George Pickens made one of the best catches in NFL history. Darrelle Revis came out and said it was the best catch in NFL history. People are comparing it to the Odell catch. I think it was better than the Odell catch. He just went sideways, out of bounds, one-handed. It's just insane, as you could see by the video that's playing right now, and I'm talking over it. But as you could see by this catch, his body was just distorted in the way he was. He was in a literal diagonal, flat body above ground, not like Odell, who was flat in the air going back into the end zone. He kind of had to move his body to get towards the ball. But as you could see by the video that was playing, great catch by Pickens, one of the best. Insane for the Steelers. They were able to get the ground game going. Defense looked a little shaky without TJ Watt. The Pittsburgh Steelers are now 0-6 without TJ Watt on the field. Not good numbers if you're a Steeler fan, especially with Watt out the next 4 weeks or so. Not looking good for Pittsburgh. But for the Browns, Jacoby Brissett was able to get the win. He was able to hold down the fort. Nick Chubb was running his second time in his career getting over 100 yards against the Steelers. He always struggled against them. But second time ever for Chubb getting over 100 yards. He was able to score. Great game for Chubb. Najee was able to get in the end zone for his first touchdown of the year. Good for Najee. Looks like he will be able to stay healthy. But you could tell in a few plays if you were watching the game that he wasn't as explosive on a few plays as normal, because maybe the injuries getting to him on a few plays, which is why they threw the rookie out there. But all in all, great game, good win for the Browns, especially after their meeting after last week's demolishing from the Jets, devastating loss, and how they collapsed in the 2-minute warning. But without further ado, let's get into the reason for this video, and that is Week 3. Now, we'll start with probably will be one of the best games, maybe one of the highest scoring games, a division rivalry between the Buffalo Bills and the Miami Dolphins. Great game here. Buffalo Bills, Josh Allen, Stephon Diggs. That's what you got to stop if you're the Miami Dolphins. If you don't stop Diggs and Allen, you're not going to be able to go anywhere. That's just how it's going to go for your team. You have to be able to stop those guys if you want to win the game. Now, on the other side, when you're looking at the aspect of the defense and the injuries, the Bills are a little shaky right now. Now, for the Buffalo Bills, Micah Hyde, Ed Oliver, and Dane Jackson are all out for this game. They will not be available, and that is crucial for a Miami Dolphins team who just unloaded the ball against the Baltimore Ravens. And in addition to that, Gabe Davis, Dawson Knox, and their other safety, Jordan Poyer, all questionable. So if even Jordan Poyer can't go, you're losing 2 of your safeties, and that is definitely not what the Bills need in this game. Now, obviously, the Bills' offense is top 3 in the league right now, if not number 1. But when you look at the aspect of the players, you're just going to need to stay healthy. And if you're losing both of your top tight ends as well as other guys on your defense, when you have a guy like Tua who's going to throw the ball to Waddle and Hill down the field, you're going to need your safeties. This ain't looking good for the Buffalo Bills. Now, for the Dolphins side, since the beginning of the 2001 season, this is a bit of a weird, crazy stat. They are 11-0 against quarterbacks with the letter O in their last name, and they are 0-8 against quarterbacks without the letter O in their last name. Now, as you could see, Josh Allen, there's no O in that name. So if this stat stays, they will be 0-9 and lose this game. But with the injuries to Buffalo, it's going to be a tall task for Buffalo on the defensive side. It's just going to come down to their offense. And I think this game comes down to how good Tua can play versus how well the Dolphins' defense is going to play. I think the Bills are going to be able to get it done on offense. I think it comes down to the injury report on Sunday morning, whether or not this video was recorded on Friday. So the injuries in this video are based off of Friday's injury report. But Sunday morning, when the entire list definitely gets released and they say they're in or out, that's something to watch for if you're a Dolphin fan, if you're a Bill fan, if you have any fantasy aspect of this, if you're betting on anything. This is something to watch out for just because of how major the player injuries are with Gabe Davis, Dawson Knox. Those are 2 guys that are going to be on fantasy teams. And then with Poyer, that can add to the safety position being out for the Bills. So in this game, I think even with the injuries, I'm going to take the Buffalo Bills offense. I'm not betting against Josh Allen right now. I'm taking Josh Allen in this game, and I'm taking the Buffalo Bills to go down to Miami and get the victory. Now next up, we have the Cincinnati Bengals taking on the New York Jets. Now for the Cincinnati Bengals, you can't go 0-3. You are 0-2 right now. If you go 0-3, there is no chance of you making the playoffs. I said it in last week's video. I think their season's done. Now, if you didn't see that video, I will put it in the link. I will link it down below. You guys can go check out my video from week 2. But I did say that the Bengals season is over, and I'm going to stick by that in this week. I think their offensive line is terrible. They can't hold up against anyone. They can't block for Joe Burrow. They brought in Alex Kappa from Tampa. They brought in La'el Collins from Dallas. Still, they are getting so much pressure against them. Burrow is getting sacked constantly. Burrow said he deleted all social media after going 0-2. He wants to focus on the team. The Jets are coming off of a high last game. I think they'll be able to stay with that high. They are also retiring Nick Mangold's number at MetLife. So with that going on, I'm going to take the New York Jets. Yes, I'm going to take the New York Jets over the Cincinnati Bengals. Call me crazy, but give me Joe Flacco. Give me the Jets off a high against the Bengals. Bengals 0-3. Their season's done. Now next we have the Las Vegas Raiders taking on the Tennessee Titans. These 2 teams, after this game, if not both, the loser of this team is guaranteed basically not to make the playoffs, going 0-3. The winner at 1-2, it's still going to be a tough road, especially if the Raiders get the victory. You're going to still have to deal with the Broncos and the Chiefs and the Chargers and the Dolphins and every team in that AFC. Not looking good for these teams, especially 0-2. The loser at 0-3, I don't even think they have a chance at making the playoffs with that AFC. The Titans, they are in a tough spot right now. Their key is going to be getting Derrick Henry going. If you can get Derrick Henry going in this game, I think you have a chance. Let the King return. It's King Henry for a reason. That was his nickname. You got to get him going. That might be a problem with Taylor Lewan out with an injury at the offensive tackle position. And then when you look at the defense, Bud Dupree's out. That's going to be a tough challenge. But for the Raiders, they don't have Hunter Renfrow or Josh Jacobs, so their offense might be a little shaky. Look for Devontae Adams and Darren Waller to have a massive game. Derek Carr is going to need to throw to somebody, and who other than his top 2 targets? 2 two of the best players at their respective positions, both probably top 3 at their respective positions. So those are the guys he's just going to have to go to. And for the Raiders, you're going to have to stop Derrick Henry. You're going to have to spread the ball around, not only to Adams and Waller, but the other guys who are going to have to step up. It's going to be a tough game for the Raiders traveling to Tennessee. But after what I saw from the Tennessee Titans last week, even though I like Mike Vrabel, I'm taking the Raiders in this game. The Titans didn't show up last week. I think they're going to continue to struggle. They're not going to be able to get their offense right. They still have to find a way to replace A.J. Brown with Burks and Woods. Give me the Raiders in this game. Tennessee Titans are going 0-3. Next up, we have the New Orleans Saints and the Carolina Panthers. Divisional game between two teams who could really use a win right now. But for the Saints, when you look at what they've done, they should have won last week. If Jameis Winston doesn't do what he did and choke in the last fourth quarter, throw 3 interceptions, the Saints win that game. They had full control. When you're looking at the game, the fight really turned it around. Once they lost Lattimore, it basically shut them down. But good news for the Saints is Kamara's getting healthy. We don't know what he's going to be. That'll be something to watch with the injury report as it goes on right now. Winston needs to get the rebound. They got to get the receivers involved. You have Michael Thomas, Chris Olave, Jarvis Landry. Get the guys involved. Let's go, Jameis Winston. Get them involved. Get your team going. And for the Panthers, get CMC going. I mean, that's what your team is right now. Come on, Baker. I've believed in Baker, but you got to prove to me now, Baker, that you can actually lead this team, because all of your doubters are looking to be right now. I think you need to show up. I think you need to get the win. But in this game, I'm taking the Saints and I'm taking Jameis Winston to get the victory over the Panthers. Next up is the Ravens and the Patriots. Now let's start with the injuries because it's a long list for the Ravens. For them, Ronnie Stanley is doubtful, most likely will be out for this game. Now, as for J.K. Dobbins, Marlon Humphreys, and Marcus Peters, they are all questionable with injuries. Not looking good for them. The Ravens are going to need them on the field at this point. For their offense, they're going to need to get it going. Lamar's going to have to find his guys. He did it last week. He's going to have to do it again. For the defense, they got to be better. You can't allow a 21-point comeback against the Dolphins. You can't allow 41 points. And for the Patriots, their offense has to get better as well. For them, on defense, you got to contain Lamar Jackson. They don't have that many injuries right now. Only Jacoby Myers is questionable. The Patriots are looking healthy. Ravens a little bit suspect with injury-wise. But I'm still going to take the Baltimore Ravens to defeat the New England Patriots. Now next up we have the Philadelphia Eagles and the Washington Commanders. Now for this game, it's going to come down to the quarterback position. I think Jalen Hurts and Carson Wentz are going to have to out-battle each other. For Jalen Hurts, get all of your core guys involved. Get your A.J. Brown, your Devonta Smith, your Dallas Goedert, your Quez Watkins, your Miles Sanders, your Kenneth Gainwell. Get your offense involved. Get them going. You know your offensive line is going to be good. The offensive line was a little shaky these past couple of weeks, but I think they'll be able to figure it out. And the one thing I want from Jalen Hurts is for him to stay in the pocket a little bit longer. Go through your first progression. Go through your second, your third reads, and then take off if nothing's there. Don't look at one read and then take off. I've seen that with Lamar. I don't like it. That's why I don't have Lamar as high as many people. So Jalen Hurts, let's go. Be a better quarterback. Let's have your pocket presence get up a little. You've done excellent this season so far. You've done better each week. As the Eagles say their motto, get 1% better every day. Jalen Hurts has done that. He's gotten better every day. He's gotten better every week. I expect him to continue to get better every week. But he's just got to stay in the pocket a little bit longer for me. And that way, I, myself, can really love Jalen Hurts. I love Jalen Hurts right now. But when you talk about the best quarterbacks, if Jalen Hurts can stay in the pocket, I think it'll improve his throwing. I think it'll improve his game. And I think he'll get the respect that he deserves that people aren't giving him just yet. For the Commanders, I can't say this enough. Don't think Carson Wentz is it. With the Eagles' defense, I think they're going to come after Carson Wentz. It's a revenge game for Carson Wentz after what happened in Philadelphia after they had a falling out with him and Doug Peterson. He didn't win the Super Bowl for them. Nick Foles came in. There has to be some jealousy there for Wentz that he couldn't get it done. He never was able to win a playoff game for the Eagles. Got hurt every year when he was with the Eagles. So this is kind of a revenge game for Carson Wentz trying to get a victory. They got to get the big plays going. Get the ball to your Terry McLaurin. You've done a good job of getting it to Jahan Dotson and Curtis Samuel. But Terry McLaurin's going to need to get the ball. And when you look at who he's going to be going against, Darius Slay, who just shut down Justin Jefferson, it's going to be a bit hard for Terry McLaurin. I think he's going to be able to get something going. But all in all, give me the Eagles. Their offense is better. Their defense is better. Their team is better overall. I'm taking the Eagles over the Commanders. Get that win. That Carson Wentz does not get his revenge W at home. I think Philly goes into Washington and gets the victory. Next up is the Detroit Lions and the Minnesota Vikings. Divisional game for the Lions. Get DeAndre Swift going early. Let him stay hot. Same thing for Amon-Ra St. Brown. Get him the ball early. Let him stay hot. And neutralize Justin Jefferson. We saw last week what happens if you take him out of the game. Darius Slay took Justin Jefferson out of the game. Minnesota scored 7 total points. That's what Detroit has to do. That's all there is to it. For the Vikings, neutralize Amon-Ra St. Brown. He hasn't been able to be stopped so far. You're going to have to stop him. If you can't stop him, Jared Goff is going to throw all over you. Jalen Hurts threw all over the Vikings with over 300 yards last week. I think Jared Goff has the potential to do the same thing. Now, I'm not a huge Goff supporter, but I think Jared Goff has the potential to do that in this game. And it does help that for the Vikings, Harrison Smith and Andrew Booth are out. Eric Kendricks is questionable. They're going to have to force Jared Goff to pass. If you take out DeAndre Swift, which I don't think they're going to be able to do, then Amon-Ra St. Brown, I don't think they're going to be able to take him out. I think the Lions offense is looking good right now. I'm taking the Detroit Lions over the Minnesota Vikings in Minnesota as an upset for this week, along with my Jets upset. Next is the Kansas City Chiefs and the Indianapolis Colts. The Colts looked terrible last week. They got shut out by the Jacksonville Jaguars 24-0. That can't happen again. The Chiefs are a way better team than the Jaguars, but you cannot let the Chiefs blow you out. They're getting Michael Pittman back. They're getting Alec Pierce back. Shaquille Leonard is still out with an injury. That's going to hurt their defense. But in the next couple weeks, they got to get healthy. They got to get it going. And in their division with the Jaguars, the Titans, and the Texans, it's going to be wide open all year long. I still have hope for the Colts to get it done. But you can't start 0-2-1. Feed Jonathan Taylor the ball. Get Michael Pittman involved. Stop Patrick Mahomes to your best ability. And get going, Indianapolis. Keep this one close. Try to get the victory. I don't think you do. I'm taking the Chiefs in this game. I think what their offense is doing right now, it's just going to be too much for the Colts. Leonard obviously out for the linebacker position. That's a problem. I think until the Colts show me something, I'm taking the Chiefs in this game. Next, we have the Houston Texans and the Chicago Bears. For these both teams, look at your star players. For Houston, that means get the ball to Dameon Pierce. He's your rookie. Everyone thought he was going to be a breakout star. Get him the ball. Brandon Cooks, he's your number 1 receiver. He's a 1,000-yard solid guy every year. Get him the ball. If you're the Bears, you want to get Darnell Mooney and Cole Kmet the ball. Those are your 2 guys on offense. Stop running the ball with David Montgomery. He's not getting the job done. Stop throwing to Equanimeous St. Brown, even though he's a good receiver. I mean, right now he's getting the job done for you. But Dante Pettis isn't the guy there. It's going to be Darnell Mooney and Cole Kmet in the future. And if you don't get them involved, they're not going to want to stay there. Your team's not good. Your franchise isn't good right now. Your quarterback's a little shaky. Your coaching obviously is not getting your playmakers the ball. Fix something for Chicago. In this game, Roquan Smith and Jalen Johnson are both questionable. If they don't go, it's going to be a problem for Chicago. Until Chicago can do anything with their playmakers, I'm taking them to lose. Give me the Houston Texans in Chicago over the Bears. Next, we have the Jaguars, who are coming off a 24-0 victory over the Colts, heading to Los Angeles to take on the Chargers. Now, for the Chargers, big injury news. Justin Herbert and Keenan Allen are questionable. Justin Herbert, it looks like it's going to be his decision. He was throwing. It looks like Herbert's going to go. But if he can't and James Daniels is the guy, I'm not a non-believer in Chase Daniels. I still think Chase Daniels can get the game done for the team, get the job done for the game. I think the Chargers get the victory over the Jacksonville Jaguars. I think whether it's Herbert or it's Daniels, I think they get the victory. Corey Linsley's a big deal. J.C. Jackson's a big deal. They're both questionable. A lot of injuries, but if they can get Eckler going, big Mike Williams could have another good game. They're just going to have to stop James Robinson. And for Jaguars, you're going to have to get James Robinson going. If you can't get him going, you can't stop the run for the Chargers with Eckler. Can't stop Mike Williams. I think the Chargers get the victory all in all. Give me the Chargers at home against the Jaguars. Now next up, we have the Green Bay Packers taking on the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Now in this game, Rodgers versus Brady. That is the headline. And a 425 window is kind of disappointing to see. I would have thought this would have maybe been the Monday night game instead of the Cowboys and the Giants. I think when you look at what this game could be, it could be the last time we see Brady and Rodgers face off. Tom Brady most likely retiring after this year. If you've kept up with the rumors, Tom Brady coming back this year caused a kind of hole in his marriage with Giselle and the family, him leaving them to come back to football after already retiring. That came as a shock to the family, so that sent flames in their marriage. But I expect Tom Brady to retire after the year. I think Rodgers has another year or two left. I don't think they retire together, though, because if they retire together, that means they're going into the Hall of Fame together. And when you look at Brady and Rodgers, do they want to go into the Hall of Fame together? No. I think they want to go in separately, have both their own years, because these are going to be two quarterbacks that when they go into the Hall of Fame, everyone is going to be watching them. And if they go in together, whose speech are you looking forward to? What news are you looking at? Who would you rather watch? It's going to turn into that type of thing, and it's going to turn into yet another competition. Brady, Rodgers, both going into the Hall of Fame. What's going to happen? I think Brady retires this year. Rodgers will retire next year. That way they're 1 year apart. They get their own ceremonies, their own Hall of Fame years. In this game for the Packers, Sammy Watkins is out. I'm looking at Romeo Doubs in this game. I think aside from Aaron Jones and A.J. Dillon, I think they're both going to have to get going. I think they are going to be able to. But with that Bucs defense right now, I think they're going to have to throw the ball. And I'm looking for Romeo Doubs in this game. For the Bucs, Donovan Smith is doubtful. They have Chris Godwin, Mike Evans, and Akeem Hicks out. Godwin out with an injury as well as Hicks. Evans suspended 1 game. And then Russell Gage, Julio Jones, Perryman, and Fournette are all questionable. I expect a couple of them to go, but 4 receivers are questionable for this game. 2 are out. You got Gage, Jones, and Perryman questionable. You got Evans and Godwin out. Fournette's questionable. A lot of problems for Tampa in the health-wise. They're in Tampa, however. Warm weather. I'm still taking the Packers. I'm still taking Rodgers. I'm taking the Packers over the Bucs in what could be our last Rodgers versus Brady game. I think Rodgers makes the series 3-2 in favor of Brady. I don't think Brady wins and makes it 4-1. I think Rodgers gets his second victory over Tom Brady since 2014. Give me Rodgers and the Packers. Next up, we have another divisional game between the Rams and the Cardinals. I think this one is easy. I'm taking the Rams over the Cardinals. Cardinals haven't showed me much yet. They're still struggling without DeAndre Hopkins. Rondale Moore is hurt. I think a big part of this game is going to be Zach Ertz for the Cardinals. But I think for the Rams, their offense is going to be too much. I think Darrell Henderson continues to do what he does. I don't see anyone on the Cardinals stopping Cooper Kupp. Then you got Allen Robinson. I think the offense is too much. Aaron Donald in that defense is going to be too much. I think Marquise Hollywood Brown gets eliminated in this game by Jalen Ramsey. I don't think he does anything on Ramsey. So I think it's going to be a quiet game for the Cardinals. Big game for the Rams. I'm taking the Rams over the Cardinals. Next up, we have the Falcons and the Seahawks. Now, for this game, I think the Falcons and the Seahawks are both kind of those lower-end teams. But when you look at their offense, I think the Falcons just edge out the Seahawks on offense. I think Drake London's starting to have a breakout year. He's looking good. Cordell Patterson's having a good year. Kyle Pitts is important for the Falcons. They got to find a way to get him involved. And for the Seahawks, I think Geno Smith is struggling this past week after having a good week 1. DK Metcalf and Tyler Lockett aren't doing much. I think DK had a good game last week. He almost had one of the best catches, but it was called back because of a penalty. But I'm going to take the Falcons offense, and now I'm going to take the Falcons over the Seahawks in this game. And next we have the 49ers and Broncos on Sunday night. Russell Wilson facing the 49ers once again, this time as a member of the Broncos. They have Jerry Jeudy and Pat Surtain questionable. That could be a problem with the Niners getting Debo and Ayuk, and Kittle is back for the Niners. George Kittle will be back this week. I think that's a big step in the right direction for the Niners and Kittle, especially if Pat Surtain can't go. Those are three guys that are going to play huge roles. Jimmy Garoppolo is in the game. He's going to pass the ball a bit more. You know the running backs are going to be involved because Jimmy Garoppolo loves his running backs. Russell Wilson, he's going to continue to struggle. I think if he doesn't have Jerry Jeudy, I think Cortland Sutton is questionable, especially if the Niners can take him out, double team him, eliminate him from the game. I think in this game, Javonte Williams is going to be a huge part of the Broncos' success, but he can't do everything for the team. I think the Niners' defense is going to be good. They're going to shut down the Broncos. I'm taking the 49ers over the Denver Broncos. And our last game is our Monday Night Football game that I will be breaking down on Monday's episode when I recap Sunday's games, Sunday's slate, and then I will talk about this Cowboy-Giant rivalry on Monday Night Football. But until then, this is going to be it for this video. If you enjoyed my video, drop a like. If you enjoy my content, you like all my videos, I will see you guys next time.